Hey guys, channel update time. So this video, what's it about? Well, it's a channel update. I want to look at where this channel was, where we are now, and where I'd like to see this channel going in the next 6 months or so, as well as we're going to do some community pull requests to really wrap up that last series that we worked on. As a little side note, I said that my channel's just over a year old, and you might go and look and see that it's like 14 years old or something crazy like that, because I made this account way back when, and I only really started uploading videos for this purpose about a year ago now, or just over a year ago now, 13, 14 months ago. This really is more like the real anniversary, because it was only about a year ago now that people actually started watching these videos. I mean, it was only like 5 people, but there were some people watching them, so that was cool. It took seriously like two months to get anybody watching at all, and then like 4 months before there was any traction, and just recurring views and a few commenters that were coming back and stuff like that. So like the first 4 months were slow, but that was cool because I was having fun doing the videos anyway. And I think it was around 4 months, I don't remember if it was 50 or 100 subs. It was around there, so just thank you to my first 100 subs. If you are one of the first 100, please say hi in the comments below. I haven't heard from some of you guys in a little while. And of course, a huge thank you to all of you guys who came after the first 100, because, you know, they're all just as important to me. But no, honestly, thank you so much for the support, and seeing the growth of this channel has been awesome. And honestly, it's been incredible from the discussions that have been going on in the comments. Some people have been reaching out to me through email or through some of the social networks, and we've been having some really good discussions. We've talked about some cool stuff and fixed some stuff in the videos I was working in, so that's really good too. So one last time, just thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, for commenting, and, you know, just being awesome all around. Now, going to where the channel is now, well, we just finished up that big long series, and man, that was a long series. Whoo! We've done a lot of long series since the channel started, and each one has gotten longer than the last one, and that's had its pluses and minuses. The projects are really fun, they're things I enjoyed working on, but the longer a series is, the harder it is for me to do. Imagine trying to work on a project, and you do 1 hour, and then you stop for a week. And you come back and do 1 hour, and then, you know, you do your little thing. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. And you come back an hour, and an hour, and an hour, and it goes on for like 10, 12 weeks. You forget what was going on before, you lose the whole momentum of the job and everything, and it just becomes like a struggle. And after 8 weeks or so, it was becoming a little bit of a struggle. Luckily, we got into JavaScript and all of that, but this is just to say that this is where the channel is now, and going for the next 6 months, the long series, probably not going to have one. We will have series of videos, but they'll be short, and I'm going to be, instead of doing big projects, I want to focus more on certain concepts. So like, here's one concept, let's make some videos on that. Cool, we got that. That was like 2 videos, 1 video, 2 videos. Let's go on to another thing. Here's a cool trick that I learned, and more little things like that as we go forward, at least for a little while until I recover from this last series that we just did. I also want to change my content strategy a little bit, and that's not to say I'm changing what we're talking about. It's still going to be about how to make the web and how to make it look good while we're at it. But I want to target beginners a little bit more, as well as the more intermediate and advanced level stuff. I find that most of my videos, apart from my really early ones, I'm always using Sass, I'm using Gulp, I'm doing some more advanced stuff, and for some people that's great, but based on the comments and questions I get on some of those videos, there's a lot of beginners that are looking for content, and I'm not sure it's all there or exactly what they need. Now, that's not to say that all of the content will be beginner content, because no, that's just not going to happen. But what I'm thinking is like 1 beginner-ish type video, and then maybe 2 or 3 more advanced ones, and then another beginner one, and then 2 or 3 more advanced ones. And, you know, we'll just see how that goes, and that might evolve over the next 6 months or year, to see how that content strategy is working, but it's sort of my goal. And I also don't want to make videos on like, here's how this one little thing works. Oh, you add some margin to it and the thing moves over. Thanks for watching. Like, that's not the type of beginner content I want to be making. To me, it'd be like, here's how margin works, and here's what a collapsing margin is, and here's when you're using padding and when you're using margin, and oh, talking about collapsing margins, why do they stop collapsing sometimes? Because they're not always collapsing margins, and like, look at in-depth stuff to really make sure that the beginner understands what's going on. And I also think that can be really useful at intermediate levels, because sometimes you're using something, you feel comfortable with it, but you don't really understand the full the full thing of what's actually going on, or when does that behavior change, and all those little weird things with CSS. So I want to go sort of in-depth on beginner issues and then also cover some intermediate and advanced stuff as well. I would also love to be doing some more live videos. I did a couple in the last year and I really want to do more. It's just so much fun having you guys in there commenting away while I'm working and being able to have a discussion with you and get ideas from you while I'm doing stuff. And I miss that, but I'm busy. So I am going to try, but I'm not promising anything. It is a big goal of mine to get some live videos, but I don't know when they'll be. Anyway, we'll see what happens with the live stuff. Fingers crossed, but who really knows? Another thing that I'm looking at doing is breaking my videos up more. So I mentioned this in the last series, but say instead of having one 30-minute long video, maybe maybe 3 10-minute long videos, because I just think that could be easier to digest for people. If I do that though, I don't want to like all of a sudden have like, oh, this one simple concept is taking 3 weeks to come out, because that's sort of boring. So if I do have a certain concept that gets broken up into multiple videos, what I plan on doing with it is releasing the videos like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday if there's 3 of them, or Wednesday, Thursday if there's 2 of them, something like that. So we'll see how that goes as well. I'd love feedback on what you think about that. Do you like the long videos? Do you like them when they're an hour long, or 50 minutes or 40 minutes, or do you prefer a few shorter videos as long as it's sort of like logical breaks in each video? Which one's better for you? And also, what type of stuff would you like to see? I already have a pretty long list of scheduled stuff coming up, but you guys always give me really awesome ideas, so I'd love to see stuff that you'd like to suggest. The only thing is, if you do suggest something, even if I think it's awesome, it might be like 2-3 months before I get to it, because I do have a lot of other stuff that I want to do. But I always appreciate your ideas, so please leave them down below. And yeah, with all that out of the way, let's get into the community pull requests. Alright guys, so here we are in GitHub, and if we look on my portfolio CSS grid, there are 4 pull requests. So thank you to the 3 of you who have made the full 4 pull requests. You can see one of them is really old, so I just want to apologize for taking so long to get to this, but I did want to make all the pull requests at the end. And there's actually some conflicts in this one too that we're going to start out. And I'm going to start with this one because I think there might be... Anyway, we'll start with this one. Real Srikar. I just want to say a big thank you for putting this in, and it was a really nice and detailed pull request, so thank you so much for that. The first thing is he's removing the outline that's affecting Mac browsers, so he took the outline off of these. He also, the message text area is not vertically resizable. Horizontal resize would break the send button. And the align items, I misspelled that. I think more than one person might have noticed that, but it wasn't working because I misspelled it. He also added some future expandability, which was a really good idea. On my list items, we had a background color. I was using the dark blue, and he just suggested switching it to black because I had a lower opacity on it anyway. And that makes a lot of sense because that way if we change the background color of the navigation itself, it's also going to change the background color or change the hover color sort of along with it instead of mixing it with some sort of dark blue color. And also removed padding and nav LIA. New LI item will take its own space without breaking the nav, and the whole LI is still clickable. So thank you so much for that. And as I said, it's nice and set up here, so it's showing me what's going on. And he also had a more updated one. The container all won't overflow X when nav is open. The nav was too wide when the viewport was too wide. Max, so they just set a max width on it, so the viewport wouldn't be this like, whatchamacallit, the navigation wouldn't be like this massive navigation. So limiting the max width of the navigation, and updated the container all to fix this match with that max width. So I think those are all really good things that you put in here. So again, thank you for that. But there are some conflicts just because I'd updated the files a little bit as we were going. So I'm going to click on resolve conflicts here. If you've never seen this, pretty much it's just going to show you your file and you have to scroll down until you find a conflict. So this is the actual CSS file itself. And there's, if we go down, we eventually get to the conflict here. So this is dealing with the nav is open nav stuff. This is the stuff that he's trying to push in or pull in, and this is the original of what I had here. It's a little harder to read mine just because of the way that it was outputted from the SAS being compiled, and also he has all of the whatchamacallits, these things at the front that I can't think of the name of right now. They're all prepended for, you know, WebKit and MS, and I think there's an, oh yeah, there it is. So those are all in there. Just a side note on those, I don't know if we need that many. If you're using auto prefixer, depends how far back you want to be able to support, but a lot of them don't really need it so much. We don't need as many of those as we used to. So if we look really quickly here, the one thing I'm not sure about is here, he took the height off, and maybe it's because we don't need it. Because translate is still the same. It's at 80%. Translate 0, translate 80, display none, display block, translate -70. Well, we have the container all here, which has... I'm going to go over to this one first. Okay, and the reason he added this, I have the transition up, but I'm only using JavaScript to add it in. So he's just adding it in here. So to be able to fix these, I'm not actually going, I'm going to have to, I'm just trying to think here, which ones we should look at, but we have the container all. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to say, we'll keep his. So I just have to delete this, and we're going to keep this down at the bottom. And then I'm going to come back up and say mark as resolved. And let's come on this one. It's effectively the exact same thing as mine. We just have the prefixes, and again, we added that other thing down at the bottom. So I'm just going to actually keep his in this case, since it's the same, but just it has the sort of the compiled version of what we just changed there. And it has the prefixes, which is no big deal, so we'll mark that. And because we've done that, I can commit the merge now. Ah, okay, there we go. Good. So now I can merge the pull request. So I'm just going to say thanks a ton for, let's just say thanks a ton. Great ideas. There we go. I don't really know what to say, but I'm going to merge. I'm going to comment, and I'm going to merge the pull requests, and I'm going to confirm the merge. There we go. And that should be done. So now I can go back to my pull requests, and we're down to 3. So about section correction, let's go see what this is. This is by Vukashin, who I've been talking to on Twitter as well. So thank you. We had some good things in here. So there's no conflicts in this one. Let's go see what's actually going on. So I'm going to go and look at files changed. There's one change, and it's I wrote image end when I should have written img end. That was kind of silly of me. And it sort of broke some stuff, and it wasn't working the way I thought it would work, and I couldn't figure out why, and it's because I'm stupid, pretty much. So I'm super happy with that. So there's not much we need to do here except awesome, thanks. I'll hit comment and I'll merge that pull request in, confirm merge. 2 left, another one by Vukashin. You said I checked my, there is a conflict now. What's the conflict? We didn't have one before. The last time I said your name, you said I almost got it right. Why is that a conflict? Patch 3. You want to bring in that. Okay. I don't see why that's a conflict. We had to make some changes here, but I don't know why it's coming in as a conflict. But I'm going to do mark as resolved, and I'm going to bring that in because I'm pretty sure it actually does exactly what I want it to be able to do. So we can also just say thanks. Merge, confirm merge. And we have one more left. Anyway, thank you, Gary. Okay, so again, let's just go look at the file changes. And the big change is just here where we're changing from 1FR the important thing here is template that I just forgot to write. So that's the really big change here. See, that's weird. Now it's showing me the update here. He just did a different spacing out of stuff. And I thought mine lined up, but hey, I'll go with his because his looks nicely lined up here. So I'm just going to go. So yeah, if we look at the files he's changing, it's just fixing the grid column to grid template columns because this makes more sense. And I think I was just dumb in that I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. Now in Gary's comment, he also says that Chrome wasn't liking the 1FR, 1FR. It's possible. I don't know why it wouldn't. It's just, I think I'm dumb because I forgot to put template in here. But if it is the case that it wasn't liking it, well, this fixes it. So we're going to stick with this anyway. And that just makes that stupid bug go away that drove me absolutely insane. So thank you, Gary. And down here is just sort of a lining of things up. So let's go and say thanks a ton and comment. And I'm going to merge that in and confirm merge. There's also an issue here in missing semicolon. I don't know if that... oh, I missed one on the last line of something. Well, that was from a long time. Look how long I've been doing this series. Oh my goodness. It's been over a month. I've been doing it for longer than that, but woof. But yeah, I never even noticed that someone had put that up there. So yeah, if it's the last line of something, you don't need to have a semicolon. I probably should add it back in. But thank you, WebDev, DGM, and Real Sakar for just participating and all of that. Okay, and since I last recorded, but before this video went live, we got another pull request from Vukash in here. So thank you once again for yet another pull request. I really appreciate when you guys are getting involved with these projects and stuff. So really, really cool. Basically, what this is saying is, once we go look, let's see, it turns out that if you give the document body style overflow y equals scroll, it overrides the initial one that we had in our CSS, which is obvious because this is an inline style and this is not an inline style. So the inline style is overriding it. What he means by this, let's go check out the project here. So I have my project open. When I open my menu, I turned off the overflow thing. So if I'm scrolling up and down, it's not scrolling. But when I close this, if I open up one of these, this is the one I had working. If I open that up, I also made the background have no overflow, and that's what got rid of the little scroll bar and stuff. So I wouldn't have the whole reason I did that was so I wouldn't have a double scroll bar. So then when I do this, now if I come back to this and open it, I can scroll down on the page, which is really awkward. He's suggested, and I'm going to go with his suggestion because I think it's the better choice. Just to comment out the things we're not using. So if we go and look, it's just to make it so the document style doesn't change, which is awesome. It fixes the problem. It was a silly, I was doing this just so we wouldn't see the double scroll bar. Look, on 95% of websites, you have the two scroll bars anyway, so I don't think it's a big issue, and I'm going to stick with what he said here. I think there is another workaround. We could just look really quickly to see. If I look here at the other option we could do, I don't want to update now, later. I want to open up my nav, and I believe nav, I want to find my nav is open. So nav is open hidden. I think if I put that as important, so that's refreshed. So let's just refresh my page here. It's not scrolling. If I bring this, I keep clicking on the wrong one. If I bring that up, it's working. I only have the one scroll bar. I can close that. And now, there we go. That works. So one solution is here where we allow the double scroll bar, which is what I'm going to do because one of you guys suggested it. But just say you could use an important on here. I'm a big fan of never using important, ever, ever, ever. This is one of the instances where, yeah, maybe you could get away with it. And it wouldn't, it's super rare. And I'd even be tempted to put a comment into why I'm saying it's important, because getting into important battles is a dangerous, dangerous thing. So if you are going to use the important, don't think, oh, that just fixes all my problems. Really important that you only use it in very specific cases. But yeah, that's it. So let's just review change. I don't need to review them. I'm just going to say that I'm merging this. And scroll problem, confirm merge. And there we go. And that's all done. Thanks for noticing this, because I hadn't noticed it. Problem with doing a video like this is, as I mentioned earlier, in a series like this that just drags on and on and on, where I'm doing like 1 hour a week, I get out of the flow of the whole thing, and I find it hard to stay on top of the little issues with something like this. So there we have it. All the pull requests have been brought in. Thank you so much for that, guys. Really, really appreciate you putting the time into that. And I do think Vukash and me were chatting on Twitter, and as he said, it's an awesome way to learn, and I 100% agree. Getting involved in projects like this can really make it easier to learn, or you learn more because you're looking more at what's going on and finding bugs and fixing bugs and stuff like that. And also the back and forth, talking with somebody else about the ideas you have and the problems you're noticing. It can really be an important milestone in your learning. So next time I do a big one, I encourage you to get involved in it as well. And there we have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope that you like this channel update and seeing those pull requests brought in. If you have any questions, any comments, anything like that about where this thing is all headed, please leave them down below. I'd gladly like to talk about it. Also, don't forget you can follow me on social media and all of that stuff. And one last big shout out to say a huge thank you to my patrons. You guys really make it possible to do what I'm doing here on a regular basis like this, so I really appreciate it. Your support is amazing, and if you're curious about how you can become a Patreon, there is a link down in the description below where you can find out a lot more about all of that stuff. Thank you so much once again for watching, and don't forget until next time to make your corner of the internet just a little bit more awesome.